The most widely known and publicized case of an attack on humans from an alleged Bigfoot occurred in the summer of 1924, when 5 prospectors were out in the wilds of Mount St. Helens in Skamania County, Washington State. The group was out in the remote wilderness working on a claim in the area of the Lewis River, about 8 miles from Spirit Lake, when they came across their first of many oddities to come. There, embedded in the earth, was a series of footprints reported as looking very human-like, but much more massive, at around 14 inches in length, with very unusual stubby toes. Not long after this, the men began to see a strange creature through the trees during their journey, with a hulking 7-foot-tall gorilla-like figure seen on at least 4 occasions. The creature was described as being covered in long black hair. At one point, one of the prospectors, Marion Smith, fired at it and sent it lumbering off, but far from cowering, it seemed to only make the creature even bolder. On the morning of July 10th, Beck reportedly sighted the creature standing some distance away near the edge of a canyon and decided to try to take a shot at it. He apparently managed to score a direct hit, and the bizarre figure apparently staggered and fell right over the ledge of a canyon, plummeting 400 feet down, presumably to its death. It was perhaps this incident that would be the catalyst for what came next. Later that evening, the men were relaxing at their camp in the cabin that they had built, when they were all of a sudden startled by a pounding on the roof that seemed to shake the whole structure. The prospectors were immediately on alert and grabbed their rifles. In addition to this pounding, the cabin began to be pelted by large rocks, some of which came straight through the windows and roof. According to the news stories at that time, there were dozens of the creatures prowling around outside the cabin, and the victims would later claim that the men had fired wildly out into the night in all directions, and even up through the roof, in a panicking, desperate attempt to drive the menacing creatures off. According to the men, the fight lasted all night as they cowered in their cabin, shooting at the monstrous hairy intruders that were assaulting them from out in the night, which they called mountain devils. It was not until the coming of morning that they were finally able to escape, leaving their cabin, equipment, and potentially very valuable claim behind. As soon as the story was out, the area became widely known as Ape Canyon, and the Native Americans of the area suggested that the men had come across a tribe of 7 to 8 feet tall, hairy wild men with supernatural powers. They were called the Siatic. According to these tribal sources, members of this lost tribe were typically shy and hardly ever seen, but would exact great revenge on anyone who killed one of their own. Not only is this one of the earliest reports of Bigfoot violence, but it is this one report that really got the public interested in the phenomenon of the giant hairy ape man in North America. One of the people who interviewed Beck about his experiences in later years was none other than Roger Patterson, the man who managed to film the most famous Bigfoot footage of all time in October of 1967, and who published the Beck interview in a 1966 book called Do abominable snowmen of America really exist? Don't forget to watch, like, and share Bigfoot in the Forest on all your social media. And don't forget, Bigfoot's on Etsy, YouTube,